Hello and welcome to Modern Toyfare News, the weekly show that talks about toys. My name is Michael, and with me today is my co-host and YouTube wife, Jamar_Games. How are you this week, Jamar?
I'm doing pretty good. Still sometimes really weird when you say YouTube wife. I don't know why. It's been a few weeks, but
I
I'm
mean,
just
it was your term. You made it up, so the fact that you were like, I don't know if I like this, well, that's your own fault at that point.
we'll roll with it. I'll roll with it.
You're gonna have to, because it's
Well,
gonna stay in the show sheet for until I find something better to call you.
oh, you been man.
I've been pretty good. It's been a slow week, but it's still a good week.
Oh, been a pretty good week for me. I'm excited to get into the news and share stuff.
I am too. So let's go ahead and get right into it. If you're new to the show, the way it works, we break down the weekly toy news, and then we do our weekly purchases and send you on your merry way. So we are going to start this week off like we do pretty much every week, and that is with McFarlane. And realistically, I have first we got, but after I went through everything, it's the only story we got, and that is the announcement of the new DC Multiverse Todd designed non-gold label exclusive blue variant Batman. The Batman popped up on Amazon, but is temporarily out of stock with no release date listed, not even a price listed. Aside from the color swaps of being like a navy blue instead of black and a few gold pieces, the only major difference is the newer style daggers that have spikes on the handles. So I didn't really care for this Batman when it was in black and gray, and the blue and gray isn't doing much for me either.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. The sculpting on it looks so badass, but for some reason, the coloring just kind of makes me feel, I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea, but this is kind of cool. Just
Yeah.
the fact that this is dropping.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of expected because they need to have some sort of reuse for these molds, or they're gonna not
Yeah.
make much money and the line will die. So I'm not shocked that they're doing a blue version. I'm glad that it's not a solid gold version. Um, I've just never been like a huge fan of Todd styled things because usually they're very, very interesting to say in a polite manner.
I mean, it's fun. It kind of gives you a little reminiscent of just a slight touch, a little Spawn vibe, but
Mm,
it I don't hate it, but it's also definitely not my style at all. But now
yeah,
you have another variant. If you already bought the other one, you got something extra to go after, right?
exactly. I mean, and this one at least is not Walmart exclusive, so you might actually have a chance of finding it.
Yeah, that's true. I should probably rephrase that as you didn't get your first one. Now you can actually have a chance with this one. That's
Exactly.
really true. I love that McFarlane always starts off the show. It's
Because
always
normally we either have like a Todd live stream or just a bunch
yeah,
of leaks or something. This is the first week I think we've only had one thing in a long time from them. So,
right.
but I wasn't gonna let that ruin the show and not start off with them.
Absolutely not, man.
So moving on though, we got new solicitations for the Hiya Toys Predator and Alien 3 3/4 inch figures. There's the Alien Gilbert Kane in Nostromo spacesuit. There's Alien 3 Dog Alien. Alien vs. Predator Invisible Celtic Predator.
Mm.
And Alien vs. Predator Requiem Wolf Predator. Those are due in stores November 2021 and will be priced at $19.99 each. Uh, I I'm very conflicted about these because I mean I'm not really invested in Alien and Predator, but you know we talk about the NECA ones a lot and a few other companies
Yeah.
that have been getting the game. The fact that these are 3 3/4 and they're charging $20 each seems
Yeah.
a
I
little.
mean, detail on it is granted these photo or not Photoshop, but prototype like images, right? These are
Mhm.
like legitimately straight out of the box. So maybe it might lose a little bit of that, but they do look like extremely detailed. And some of these shots don't even look like they're 3 3/4. Like they look like they could be a full size, but I guess it's just angles.
Yeah, like
But
the entire time when I was editing the graphics for the show, I was looking at these. I'm like, man, this company's gonna give NECA a run for their money. And then reading my show notes, I completely forgot they were 3 3/4 until
yeah,
like just now. So like that was like something I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you though on the price point, because again, I like to not like read the show sheet because I like to hear the news from you, and I guess that makes me unprepared sometimes. Not that I like it, but I saw this and everything you're saying. I was like looking at these along with you, and I'm like, damn. And then I love me some like clear like modes and clear like plastic like or
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it, like figures. And then you said $20, and that kind of like was a little bit of a downer because I've always been just looking for a reason to get into like these Predator lines, and like I didn't want to spend that much, but these are like 10, maybe like 12, something like that. I would be kind of like feeling a little bit more because you can't just get one thing. You got to get at least maybe two out of this. So it's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, like I would probably, like, as dumb as it sounds, with only $5 difference, I probably would have been more acceptable at $14.99 because they
Yeah,
look really good. So I'd be like, okay, it's a high quality three and three
like
quarter figure. I can
right.
justify that. But like when you're looking at it, probably be on the shelf next to like Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series. I mean, even the McFarlane figures that are all at that same price point. To think, oh, that's gonna be this big compared to something this big is kind of a huge difference. So maybe they'll come packed with a bunch of accessories, or it could
Yeah,
literally just be because of how good they look. And I guess I
yeah.
can kind of
They're
understand that because
also
they
for the
fooled
size.
me.
Yeah, they're also for the size. Like it seems like you have like again, I was sounding like a broke record, but it looks like a lot of detail
Hmm.
on these figures. So I kind of could get that price, but like you said, 15. It sounds silly, $5, but 15 feels like it makes me feel good. Like it would make me feel okay, like purchasing it on that. But yeah, that's a tough comparison.
Yeah, it at least
Cool, though.
gives
Very
you
cool.
that kind of like, okay, I'm not paying the same price as I would for a full 112 scale figure. So like
Right.
it's all mental. Realistically, with the detail and stuff, I'm sure these will be more than worth it once they actually hit shelves. But just reading three and three quarter always just kind of makes me think like it should be cheaper, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Oh,
I'm excited to see, especially packaging and stuff. I'm curious to see how these will
yeah,
look.
I am curious to see that too because there's another company that's doing Predator stuff right now that's in Walmart, and it looks very much like early 2000s style packaging. Like it's
Yeah.
got the big plastic bubble and bright colors and stuff. And then you have the NECA stuff, which comes in the box that always looks like some type of movie poster or artwork or something. So I'm curious what they do to stand out.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see until probably closer to November.
Long
Uh,
time.
Moving on from Hiya Toys, though, Goodsmile announced a bunch of new video game licensed Figmas. We've got Norman Fetus's Sam Porter from Death Stranding. Sam has a standard edition figure that includes hands, one extra parcel, and a gun for $104.99, and the deluxe version that includes hands, extra armor bits, several parcels, and two guns for $134.99. Both are available for pre-order and ship in November 2021. We also got prototype images for Cliff Unger from Death Stranding, a male version of V and Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk 2027, and Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower of Bloodborne: The Old Hunters. No dates or prices on pretty much any of these yet because they are still pending license approval. I, I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't play Death Stranding, but that figure looks incredible.
Yeah, man. I'm pumped for this entire. All of these announcements have me like really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I have some words to say about certain ones, but since we're talking about like the Sam Porter, like damn, like this is so awesome. Like, and I'm kind of getting excited. One because of two of these are PlayStation properties,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm wondering, kind of getting the idea. Like, I'm a huge PlayStation fan, so like this is getting me excited just for like the thought of these licenses still pending, but the Sam look pretty much looks done. So like, it's so
I mean, it
expensive.
basically is done because it's up for pre-order at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
it, it's happening, right? So
mm-hmm.
that it's a very costly figure, but man, it is amazing, absolutely amazing. Death Stranding wasn't a game that like hit me to the core, but I very much enjoyed my time with it. my hope for this is that we get a Kojima figure, just because that seems wacky, and I would totally be all over that as well. Unger, yes, that was probably my favorite character in the game. His acting was just hands down phenomenal. So like, I kind of would love to get something like that as well. I feel like I can keep talking more about the other the other announcements. I don't know if you have anything else to say about.
I mean, I was gonna throw in a joke somewhere in there about when the CyberPunk figures show up and they fall apart, if you can return them like you could the game. But beyond that, I didn't really have much vested interest in any of the game properties at hand, except for, I will say, last year they put up pre-orders for Sam's motorcycle, and I pre-ordered that because I'm gonna paint that bitch black and give it to Batman.
That's fair. That's fair. It's a good joke, and I kind of do want to talk about the Johnny Silverhand. Awesome character. Obviously, it's Keanu Reeves. You can't beat that. So I would be interested in that, and also see kind of like what he comes with accessory wise, because I think there could be some cool ideas with that. The V is really it bugs me out because this is a customizable character. So like the male V is not like, that's not my V in my game, and they can't really make my V. But what they would be really smart if they had additional accessories, maybe like head swaps with different hair or different like clothing. I don't know if that could be a possibility, or even give you like different mods or something, like with the arms and all that, like the arm blades, or I don't know what they're, I can't think of it. Anyways, that would be a really awesome idea that would kind of get me interested into it. But you got to have a female V, right?
Oh yeah, if they specify male version, I imagine that means there'll be a female version at some point. I will say that it is very odd when you have like a create a character thing, and that's what they decide to make, because like they've done that with Skyrim and Fallout, where they're like, here's the Wanderer, and it's just generic white guy or generic white lady 1 and 2, and then you've got the Dovahkiin, and it's just their generic version from the trailer, which I get. It's, you can't predict what other people are gonna make.
Too, so.
But at that point, at least with like the Skyrim, they had the out of being, this is the Dovahkiin. He is the Bethesda's idea of who this character should be in his like Nordic outfit and all that. So like that, like there's a little bit of an out. This just like, I don't know. I don't recall seeing a lot of posters and stuff with their version of the character, especially considering it's primarily first person, from my understanding, aside from when you're, you know, increasing and decreasing your wiener size and create a character mode.
They're good accessories for you.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. You could give him soft goods, you could take off his pants, and you can give him adjustable sized wieners. There, that's.
But my other thought on this is, maybe this is just kind of one of those things. Again, like, license is still pending, and like Johnny Silverhand is still prototype. If we get this, I would hope they would do more characters, because there's a couple characters that they just absolutely would have to do, and depending on what side or what camp you're in, if you're like, you know, Judy fan, that's the only one to be. But like, there's other characters in the game that may not have been in the game for a long period of time, but still had a really huge connection. I'm blanking out on the character's name because I haven't played the game for like a month or so, because I'm waiting for all the bug fixes. But there is a specific character that was in a lot of marketing that should have been at least on this instead of the V character. So I'm just really, really interested into this line, and I'm just curious like what they do with it, because CyberPunk, for all of its downfalls, it's still an amazing game. So like the characters are really fully developed too. So I'm all about representing on my shelf games and things that I love. So I'm really into this. As far as the Bloodborne character, Bloodborne is amazing. It's a nice, cool character to have from it. This is another weird thing. Granted, this is not the same, but like the main character is customized. So like, what do you do with that?
Like I feel like lines like this, you benefit more when you're making just the random characters you encounter more so than the character you're playing as. Because, like I said, unless it's like a situation like the Dovahkiin, there's not a lot of marketing to go off of where you can be like, yeah, this generic person is the main character of the game, even though you've got people who play it as a woman, or play it as someone who's not white, or play it as a fat dude. Like, all sorts of different options aside from, like, I'm just saying, if I was good, if I would have bought this game, I would have made some real weird shit. I would have made a fat dude with like a 20 each wiener and like a funky like goatee and shit. Like, so yeah, I would be like, I want to look so fucked up that when people get seduced by me, I want it to be a real impressive matter.
That's fair. But yeah, I'm I'm really excited at all of this.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm shocked that the Cyberpunk 2020 or the 2077 stuff is still getting announced, like figure wise, because I mean Mcfarlane released theirs already,
Yeah,
but with the game having all that controversy to the point where people were allowed to return digital versions of the game, like that's unheard of in the gaming world, and it was done on a mass scale to the point where PlayStation took the game off the market so you couldn't buy it, and yet they're still making figures for it. So does that mean that the community that stuck with it loves it so much that they're willing to take the risk, or is this something that was in kind of in the works before the game's big like flop of a release happened, or are they really counting on that kind of like back wave once they fix everything of people coming back and making a bunch of money?
I mean, personally, I feel like it's a combination of all three.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember, as controversial as the release was, it did do like something like 80 million like pre-order sales. Like, so it was a massive.
It was a massive release.
But yeah, it was just the public opinion of it was really, it went down in the shit basically.
Yeah.
Now they're getting like hacked and cyber attacked.
Oh yeah, they're getting hate crimes against them in the cyber world over this. So like that's why I'm shocked that they're like, yeah, let's do $100 Figmas for them.
I will say, like, I still like dig through the subreddit and everything, and that community is like dedicated to this game, and they love the characters that are in this game. So that would make 100% reason that there would be hands down a good reason to like kind of release stuff like this, because people still want that. I mean, there's a lot of people that completed the game. Some people play the game and had no issues. Wink, wink. No, but in all seriousness, the community behind this game, although they're kind of upset, mostly PC player community.
Yeah,
got a lot out of this game and has connections with these characters that I think makes sense to have like some cool representation. So it's understandable. Also interesting. Plus, you're buying history. You get a figure for a game that did something that no other game has ever done before.
True. You got me there. Like, not only do you have Keanu Reeves, but this game was the first game to have mass returns digitally, and I've got a piece of it on my shelf.
Exactly, man. That's all it's about.
Oh man.
Other games that I have a huge place in my heart for.
I mean, I imagine it's probably on its way. Just give it time.
Tossing it up, man.
I'm sure that the people over at Goodsmile are watching the show right now and be like, you know what, that Jamar guy, he's got a point.
I was tossing up the segue to you, man.
Oh,
the next
okay. I fucked that up. My bad.
No, it's fine.
So segue in Hasbro news, new Star Wars gaming grades deluxe Jedi Fallen Order Cal Kestis went up for pre-order at GameStop for $29.99, set to ship in June of this year. Cal comes with a hooded cloak, 2 lightsabers, a Jedi holocron, a tiny droid, and an Eevee-like alien squirrel fox thing that I have no clue what it is because I haven't played the game yet. Hasbro also announced the Marvel Legends Silver Surfer Minor with Minor briefly went up for order on Walgreens.com for $19.99, which means it will probably show up in stores here in the next month or so. So keep an eye out for that. So I know 100% you are all sorts of into the Cal.
Yeah, that was like an easy one for me because I missed out on it earlier. I wasn't even paying attention at that point when it came out. So I did jump on this. I'm a little bummed because I don't 100% love the orange jumpsuit. Like, I was just scrolling through like on the internet and someone mentioned like, yo, he's got that like orange prison jumpsuit underneath the bench. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. So that is a little bit of a downer, but I'm still excited. This is the same thing though. Like, that's not my Cal because I had him dressed differently, but I'm still 100% in for this figure. I absolutely have to have this amazing game. Shame on you for not playing it yet. We're playing Roko every night.
It's your fault. I will say that I almost want to get him just so I can get rid of the cloak and I can be like, look, I've got Ian from
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Shameless.
And he's in a prison jumpsuit. It works out perfect.
I seen something. I thought you were gonna go with God, why can't
Gotham, where he played two
no,
different
no.
versions of the Joker.
That just happens to be he has to be Batman related as well. Why can't I think of the bad dude, bald guy, Batman's enemy? God, why?
Bald Batman enemy.
Yeah, what? Jesse Eisenberg played him.
Lex is a Superman villain.
Oh, Superman. That's what I meant. Superman. Yes. So I saw someone doing like some weird head swaps with taking off they're like, we could take this off, put his head on this figure, and then we got like an orange jumpsuit like figure in that way. And I was like, I kind of like the cool idea for
Wait,
it.
you're talking about taking the cow
Like
head and put it on the old Mattel Lex Luthor.
Taking it off, getting a Lex Luthor head, putting it on there, ripping off the poncho,
but
with the orange underneath.
That seems like such a waste of time because they made a Mattel prison jumpsuit Lex.
I'm just saying what people were putting online.
And I'll tell you right now, if that figure is going for an insane amount of money online, I will shit my pants because it was like they couldn't even clearance it out. I'm pretty sure there's landfills filled with Justice or Dawn of Justice Lex Luthor's. Like they could not get rid of that figure. It was just so frowned upon. So the fact that someone's like, I want to head swap it and put it on this makes no sense to me. Like I want my prison Lex to have fucking combat boots.
Wait, you never know. Whatever people in canon, they let it be that. But
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like at least like 60% of my collection is all kit bashed, so I can't judge too much. But there's some things that just don't make sense because you've already got a prison Lex, so you don't need to change the prison Lex to a slightly more articulated prison Lex.
You're reasoning with the internet, which is impossible.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
As far as the figures, I don't 100% remember like what all came with it. So you have both like the
single bladed lightsaber. You've got the double.
Oh, the previous.
Oh, the previous one just came with, I believe, a single bladed lightsaber. I think it came with two different lightsabers with different colors, if I remember correctly. And I want to say the droid, but you didn't get the weird squirrel thing. And you didn't get the double blade lightsaber, and you didn't get the holocron, if I remember correctly.
Okay. So that makes sense. I'm 100% in. Just play the game. That's all I can say. For
I mean, I want to. It's gonna be a minute. I've got a backlog of games I need to play, and very little motivation. So
right. Though the Silver Surfer is pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig it. I thought it was cool way back when they announced it last year. I will say, I almost want to get it just because that hammer is a re-release of the one that came with the 80th anniversary Thor, and I bought that Thor for the hammer because I wanted to give it to my Mezco Captain America. However, that like final product in package looks like it has a lot better like paint shading than the one that came with Thor. Because the one I have, like, the handle was just a solid like lame like brown. And like there was no like silver piece at the bottom, so this one looks like they shaded it, and they've got the silver piece at the bottom, and they shaded the strap, and I'm like, son of a bitch! Like I went through and I did like a wash with paint on mine to try to give it some life, and it still looks like iffy. So the fact that this one's like perfect, it kind of annoys me. So if I see that in Walgreens, I may actually pick it up.
Return it. Is that what you're planning on doing? Because that's awful. Don't do that.
I didn't say I was going to do that. Why would you suggest that?
I'm just saying that's what it seems like you would do.
Wow, fuck you. I will say also I like the like energy fist effects.
Yeah, I wonder if you could fit that on other characters' like hands, or is it like moded specifically to his fist?
So I'm curious because I have some Marvel Legends energy effects, but I don't have a lot. Most of the ones I have are like rubbery, like lightning bolts that just like go over the wrists.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's either got a peg on it, like the Mezco one, where you just pop it in the hand, or if it actually just fits over the fist. If it fits over the fist, Marvel Legends reuses fists like no other, so you could definitely reuse it in Marvel Legends. And theoretically, I can't imagine their fists are that dramatically like different size than other lines. So that's another thing. I'm kind of like, well, it opens more doors. If I decide to pick this up, I'll have the hammer with the updated paint, and I'll have some cool energy effects, and then I'll just have to find someone to buy Silver Surfer for like $10, so that way I don't feel like I wasted $20.
Oh god.
Staying on Marvel Comics news, though, Sentinel put up pre-orders overseas for their new Armored Wolverine. This line is a take on the Marvel heroes decked out in their own Iron Man-style armor. Wolverine is due out in June and will be roughly $105 depending on where you get it. I love this and I'm confused by this because it looks cool as fuck. But then logic takes over and I'm like, wait, Wolverine has a healing factor and an adamantium skeleton. Why the fuck does he need an Iron Man suit?
No. Wolverine's not actually in the suit. It's just a suit replica of him.
So you're saying that Tony just was sitting one day drunk going, you know what would be fucking badass? If I made that tiny Canadian motherfucker into one of my armor suits and just started stabbing motherfuckers instead of blasting them.
Okay, so you telling me that wouldn't be badass?
I'm not saying I'm not gonna say we totally just wrote a new like Elseworld story for Marvel. You're welcome. I don't think that's where this line's going because they also have a bunch of different Spider-Man figures that are like the armored Spider-Man and stuff. So I think it's supposed to be him inside his own suit of Iron Man armor.
It makes no sense, but it'd also be kind of interesting to hear like a Wolverine character fly, and he's just like,
oh yeah, he'd just be like, oh fuck, Bob, oh fuck.
Oh, no. I also did a really poor Wolverine impersonation, so that's cool. But yeah, these are pretty slick. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of it, just like because we wrote that amazing script.
Oh yeah, we've made a whole headcanon around it, so now you have to buy it for your collection.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing if you are like the type of collector that wants a complete line of something. This would be cool to see like all the characters kind of in that Iron Man style, like Iron Man suit style. So it's cool from just more like an art piece versus like this makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, this line wasn't like built to be, hey, let's make practical things. It was like, you know, it'd be badass if you put a bunch of Marvel Comics characters in Iron Man suits and make them personalized to each character. So I can't hate on it. Like, it's still really, really cool. I'm just saying in my head, I instantly think, why the fuck would Wolverine need armor? And then I look at it, I'm like, I don't care. It's pretty badass. So it's just this tug and war in my head of yeah, that's cool, but it makes no sense. Right. But it's still fucking cool.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Speaking of companies that make no sense, NECA had their Defenders of Earth Wave 1 listings go up on Walmart's website. While not orderable, it did give us the inbox images of the Phantom with Zuffy, Flash Gordon, and Ming. These will be a timed exclusive through Walmart once they release, but that's not all NECA teased us with. And we got images of new King Kong creatures, and fuck you, NECA. We did not get a single fucking Godzilla villain that wasn't a part of like the new movies throughout the entire line, and you're gonna cash in on these tiny ass creature packs to go with Khan. Fuck you. Like that pisses me off. I hate you, NECA, so much. Obviously, there's no dates or prices yet. I'm sure we'll be getting something soon though, because it's Toyfare month. And Toyfare is going to be at home, so we'll have just announcements randomly. But something curious happened while I was setting up the show notes and doing the graphics. So the NECA Twitter came back to life today with a tweet that said, "It's alive!" containing full images of the new Frankenstein's Monster Universal Monsters Classics figure. And in a response to someone's tweet about it, they claimed it's available for pre-order. Couldn't find it anywhere on any website. But then the NECA Instagram posted that this will ship sometime this summer in like late June, early July. So when they say pre-order now, does that mean it's going to be on NECA's website at some point? Because Walmart doesn't really do pre-orders for the NECA stuff that wasn't Turtles.
Yeah.
And Target, not really much there either. And even if they did, they'd never fucking ship it. So
Huh.
I'm not sure unless it was just a troll thing. Because my biggest question about this one, the Frankenstein's monster looks incredible. I'm sold.
Absolutely incredible. It's crazy.
Like the fact that it's black and white, it comes with some
Yeah.
really cool accessories. He's got 3 different faces. Sign me up. I can't wait to see what else this line brings. But if the Twitter's alive again, does that mean Randy is back, like behind the keyboard?
That's the whole thing. He was setting this up. He was setting it up.
He was
like,
really.
I
He was
gotta
just
go
like
away.
he was doing that
I gotta go
long
away.
that long work to get us the big it's a live post to make it super ironic.
He was like, I can't tweet anything. I gotta be away. I gotta take it right on the chin. You guys don't understand. This is a long game marketing right here. And now everyone's like, oh, he's back and it's alive with this. That's cool. I'm just making that up, of course.
Oh yeah,
But
we have no evidence of any of this. I did see multiple tweets of people being like, "Randy, if that is you, blink twice." But yeah, the Frankenstein's monster looks incredible. The Defenders of Earth look really cool. I'm not invested in any of those movies, so it doesn't really like speak to me. But they still turned out really nice for characters that I wouldn't expect NECA just randomly pick up.
right. But also on top of that, something that we give NECA credit for all the time is their box art and back box style. This is insane. It's so good. Like, I just don't understand how they can consistently just knock it out of the park by making the packaging almost more interesting than the figure itself at points. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see like the Frankenstein. Like, this is awesome. This is really awesome.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with the Frankenstein's monsters box. Like that's gonna be super cool too.
Yeah, this is really cool. Also, this confirms. You know what it confirms, right?
Which thing we're talking
about? License, the Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
They have the turtle license. Universal
I see where you're
monster.
going.
Oh boy, it's
But
gonna happen.
I would not get your hopes up because they are not the line that's doing the Playmates figures.
Yeah, that's true.
However,
turtle, they can work some out.
On the flip side of that, Super7 does have the Universal Monsters license, so you never know.
It's true. It's very true.
However, you'll probably get a reaction figure, not an Ultimates.
God, I would fucking cry and then buy them. So.
and as far as the Kong creatures, they can go fuck themselves. I'm bitter.
Well, I mean, if you place it in a really weird way, perspective wise, you can make it look like it's fighting Godzilla in the same size.
So Jazzwares had a mock-up photo slip out of the upcoming 6-inch Fortnite Midas shadow figure. While the listing is up on Amazon, oddly with the wrong picture, there are no dates or prices yet. Jazzwares also released new images of the Spartan Collection 6.5-inch Halo figures. And we got Spartan MK7 Infinite, Spartan Emil Reach, Spartan MK5 Infinite, and Spartan Jerome Halo Wars 2. And these were up at some point on Target.com for $19.99, but all it shows is that it's available in store now. Like, you can't order it, so they just kind of dropped. So they're $19.99. Good luck. I know I've seen the line in stores, but I don't know if I've seen these ones yet. I will say thank God that the boxes say the names for them. Otherwise, I'd have no idea which graphic to put up where.
I didn't even know that there was different characters. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I get it. You gotta get to it, but like, yeah, I'm that basic, Halo guy, so that makes sense.
Like, I have to give it. Halo looks really cool, and sometimes the multiplayer can be fun, especially if you're someone like me who's just like, I'm gonna get in the Warthog and just try to run motherfuckers over and hope for the best. But I never showed interest in the story. I know enough to know that in Reach and the games after, they introduced a lot of side characters just because I used to work at GameStop. So, like, obviously, I'd hear nothing but GameStop TV talk about them for 32 times a day during my shift. And I know there are other characters and other Spartans and so on and so forth. Just have no clue who they are and what relation they have to anything. I do know that Master Chief is significantly like bigger in the game than everyone else because he's like a super soldier, which means that you're 8 feet tall apparently. Sorry, Cap, they fucked you over there.
Reasonable.
But these look really cool. I saw the Master Chief today while I was at Target. I'm like, man, I wish I liked Halo because this figure is so badass. And I'm like, I can't spend $20 on something I don't even fucking know any of the lore of.
Yeah, I mean, it's also cool too, just to be like an Xbox fan, to have something again, like it's just that representation on your shelf. So that's cool. Like I'm assuming you're like, if you're a fan of Xbox, you probably are a fan of Halo.
Oh yeah, if you're an Xbox fanboy and you don't like Halo, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, you just might like the controller or something. I don't know. But so as far as the Fortnite, when you said Midas, I was like, ooh. They announced like a new character skin. It hasn't been in the game before, and I was like,
no, it's just some dude in a suit.
Yeah, but this from the image though, I'm confused. I don't know, obviously like the Fortnite lore, but I do remember seeing like the gold character, like I've seen.
Yeah, the guy with the gold skin.
Yeah. Is the figure the same?
So that figure in the mock-up is very clearly just like a pale like white person, he's definitely not gold there, which could just be because they're 3D modeling or whatever. They haven't gotten around to painting him gold yet.
Okay.
But it says shadow, so I don't know if that means like instead of gold he's like platinum or something. It's been so long since I played Fortnite. I know of the gold guy, but I don't know what other variations he has.
That's just interesting. That would, be a little bummer if it wasn't the actual code. But yeah, we'll see. I'm sure we'll see, obviously, when this is officially announced. And I love seeing those Fortnite figures pop up. And I don't mean that, as a joke. I really like seeing when there's new Fortnite figures. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure in 2 months it'll randomly start showing up in stores, and we'll be showing you pictures that people have posted on their Instagrams. So stay tuned for that. Moving on from something gold to something diamond. Segue. Diamond Select gave us a new look at the upcoming Muppets Select Best of series. Wave 1 has Kermit and Piggy, and they are a 2-pack. Then we have the Gonzo and Fozzie 2-pack, the Scooter and Rolf 2-pack, while Wave 2 has the Stalter and Waldorf 2-pack, the Bunsen and Beaker 2-pack, and the Swedish Chef. All of these are available for pre-order for $22.99 and ship this month, supposedly, according to Big Bad Toy Store. I will say I did go on their website. Bunsen and Beaker are sold out, but they have a special version that's only for Big Bad Toy Store that's $29.99. So if you're desperate to, have them, I don't know what the difference is, but because it's the same picture, but it's there.
Just in stock.
Yeah. Overall, seeing this line, I've never been a huge Muppets person. I as a kid, I remember watching Muppet Babies a lot, and I remember the Muppets, all the different movies, like Treasure Island and stuff, and enjoying them. But it's never been something that was it tugged at my heartstrings enough to where I needed it. But look at these figures are so cool. I almost want to get them.
It's weird because I kind of have the same experience with you with the Muppets, but it feels like the Muppets is so timeless that it is almost for any generation. Of course, you had to have been alive when the Muppets were a thing, but it feels like you have nostalgia for it, even though you're I'm not sure what it is about the Muppets. It's just the idea of them, and they do make me want to buy them, but I'm come on, man, I don't need these. But it's so cool, the Kermit and Miss Piggy, that's awesome. The Swedish Chef, come on, look at all these funny accessories. You have the little tiny. This is cool. This is so cool. This is stuff that's heartwarming, not because it has nostalgia, but just nice to see.
Oh yeah, my thing I want to know is if they're. I probably should have looked it up. I want to know how tall they are, because if they're in scale of 112 to the point where they're actual Muppet size compared to my Batman, I 1,000% will end up getting these because they're so awesome. I've pulled a Jamar, and I've put Gonzo and Fozzie in my cart at least 3 times today. but haven't pulled the trigger. And so I'm excited to see that. I do like that Swedish Chef. They were like, he doesn't come with a person. Instead, he comes with a chicken and just a table and the vegetables of eyeballs and stuff, and he's just stacked with everything else.
Yeah, it's just funny. Yeah, I'd really dig it. I like this.
Yeah, I'm all for it, and I'm not even like, I have my best friend loves the Muppets, so I'm like, I know he's not going to watch the show, so I'm going to have to send him the link and be like, look what you need to buy.
I love it.
Moving on, though, Tamashii Nations put up for pre-orders for the new SH Figuarts Dragon Ball launch figure. She was available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store, but has since been removed, oddly, so I have no clue even how much she is. I have to assume she's probably in the, like, $70 to $100 range, knowing Big Bad Toy Store, but I'm not sure if she's sold out or if they weren't supposed to put the pre-orders up yet, but it happened, and then today when I looked, it was gone. And I searched for her. I searched in the figure arts section. I searched in the Dragon Ball section. She has launched herself off the website, apparently. And I wasn't, like, it doesn't hurt my feelings that she's gone, because I only collect Z and Super. I don't do just Dragon Ball for the most part. I loved Dragon Ball, but in the States, it didn't show up until after we were already halfway through Z. So it didn't hit me quite as hard. I was just like, oh, this is weird, and I appreciated it more as an adult than as a kid, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't really need her. She's really cool. I love the fact that you get the blue hair and the blonde hair, and she has her sneezing face, which is perfect, because when she sneezes, that's when she transforms between the two.
It's a cool ass figure. I'm more intrigued on, like, why it was there, why it's not. Like, I want to know, like, was it, like you said, the pre-orders? Is it like, whoa, we don't have lights out, like, this isn't coming out yet? I just want to know, like, that kind of story behind it. But it's a cool ass figure. Man, those figure art figures, woo.
Oh yeah,
$70. God dang.
Yeah, they get you. They get you right in where the right where the wallet hits you. Yeah,
I need like a McFarlane to start making.
Oh god, no, because then Goku will have weird, like, long wrists, so he'll look like a actual monkey instead of just like a pretend monkey.
Right.
We don't need that. I'm curious too why it was removed from Big Bad Toy Store, because this has been officially announced by Tamashii Nations months ago. Yeah. So it's not like she was just like a surprise, like, thing. And it just makes you wonder if maybe Big Bad Toy Store ordered her or started their ordering process, like, got her in their, like, order form, and we're like, oh, we could put her up, and Tamashii was like, no, not yet, and it just kind of threw everything off. I'm also curious if anyone who actually got a pre-order on her through Big Bad, if she still shows up in their orders, or if that's been removed too.
Yeah, it's interesting. How crushing would that be? You grabbed one, you're like, yes, and then they, like, take it away, and then you miss the pre-order again. You're like, no.
Well, so I wouldn't think that it'd be that devastating, because realistically, the Dragon Ball figures do not sell half as well as the Z and Super do.
Right, so it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah, like, they still do pretty good, but she is such a side character that I can't imagine it's going to be like, oh no, the pre-order's sold out. Like, that'd be, unless it's a limited run, I can't imagine that being a thing.
So hopefully no one gets screwed over then in this situation.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll go back up here in a couple weeks whenever Tamashii Nations is like, here you go. Or maybe the Big Bad Toy Store pissed them off so much that it'll only be available on Bluefin. Stay tuned.
Okay.
We'll get answers eventually, I'm sure.
Find out here.
Yes, maybe not first, but we certainly aren't last. Storm Collectibles posted a teaser for their Tekken 7 King figure. No dates or pre-orders yet. As usual, Storm Collectibles, they'll do this real cool stylized, like, black and white teaser of a character, and then a few weeks later we'll get the full solicitation, and a few weeks after that we'll get pre-orders. So it's kind of like a ritual thing here. I'm not super familiar with Tekken, because growing up I was really bad at Tekken, so I never got invested. I was more of a Street Fighter kid. Yeah. I do know that King is the big cat guy. But that's about all I know.
well, as your resident Tekken expert. Now, I mean, that was again PlayStation fan. That play like Tekken was like the game that we played most of the time. But this is I feel bad because I feel like Tekken is kind of distance away from me. I know my cousin who I used to play with a lot. He still plays like Tekken like all the time, and Tekken 7 is one of them. And it's something that I would love to get into. But like you said, fighting games just not that good as an adult. I don't know. I had an excuse when I was a kid. Just hit those buttons, get Eddie Gordo, and you just boom, boom, boom. So that's cool. But yeah, these are interesting. Depending on the cost, because Storm collectibles are
they're usually about $75.
Yeah, there's a couple Tekken characters that I would love to see that representation on my shelf. I keep saying that phrase, but that's what I'm all about. But this is kind of cool because out of like a lot of the characters that you have, like your Yotsumitsu, who was like one of my guys, Huang, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. He was one of my guys. Eddie Gordo, and then King was on that list as well. So I didn't have many characters that I really, really, really liked, but out of those four, and that's just kind of interesting to see him pop up. I'm like, is this a sign? Is this a sign?
It's a sign of a new line that you're going to have to convince your wife that you're into.
But yeah, that's interesting. So I'm definitely excited to see more and see it like all of his full glory.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, as far as Tekken goes, the only characters I don't even know their names. I just know of the like kickboxer Goku guy with the black spiky hair. He's the main character.
Jin.
And then I know of like his like arch nemesis, who's like the bald guy who looks like he's Hulk Hogan, but his like hair's side out to the side instead of being like down. His skullet is spiked and stylized. Beyond that, I know of Kitty Cat Man, just because he stands out so well.
Kitty Cat Man.
That's what I called him because I have.
He's a wrestler, so you got that in common.
I mean, clearly he's got a gimmick where he's a king and he's a cat. Like he's all sorts already.
He's a really grapple character, grapple heavy and slams and stuff. It's pretty cool.
So I would have been really bad with him. Good to know.
Oh, yeah. I just do kicky spinny guy. That's it.
Kicky spinny guy. I like it. Moving on from Kicky Spinny Guy, I am botching everything tonight. BossFightStudios revealed preview images of the new Popeye, Olive Oil, and Castor Oil figures. The adult figures in the line will range between 5 to 6 inches depending on the character. So these are super cool. Like there's been a lot of companies that are like, let's do Popeye. And this looks like it just jumped out of the cartoon. So if the final product looks anything like this, if you're a Popeye fan, this is your time to shine.
Which, is there a lot of Popeye fans out there?
I mean, I think we've talked about this before, and most of them are like in retirement homes at this point. So
I know, like, I mean, we could joke about it, but it is weird that like there's no like touchstone as like. I mean, we're kind of like of that age, like we're the adult age right now. And like, I'm thinking like maybe my mom was in the, I don't know. Like,
I didn't think that, to be honest. Like I know they had obviously like reruns and stuff when we were kids, but realistically, I want to say that's our grandparents who grew up with Popeye.
That makes sense.
Because I can't imagine that like in the era of Scooby-Doo, you would choose to watch some weird sailor who eats spinach and beats people up. Like that doesn't seem like that generation of hippie.
The thing though is, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but when we were playing the game sometimes, and I say, "Yeah, I'm here," it's just the Popeye. Like Olive's always like, "You're my hero."
Oh man.
But yeah, I don't know why that like stuck with me from like Popeye, but this is interesting because Popeye is like a timeless property.
Oh yeah, it's like Muppets.
Yeah, like. Do I remember many cartoon like episodes? No, but do I remember what Popeye and the names and stuff? Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I just vaguely remember
cartoons.
Yeah,
well, not like the new, but you know what I mean, like the actual Mickey Mouse. Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just like
I vaguely remember like he'd be like walking around and then Bluto would show up and bully him,
Yeah.
or he'd like start hitting on Olive Oil and he'd be like and then just like start fighting him and get his ass beat, and then he'd be like, I got spinach, and shoot it up in the air and catch it in his mouth and shoot smoke out of his pipe and then start whooping his ass. And I think that sums up like 90% of the episodes of Popeye.
You're missing when she goes, help me, help me. I'm telling you, man. Maybe it's the wrong cartoon, but I swear.
No, you're right. She very much so was a very, very needy damsel in distress.
I didn't know, however, that they had a child, so that's
I remember vaguely like seeing the child, but I always thought it was her child and she was like a single mother. I didn't realize it was his. I thought he was always like the dude who's trying to get with her, so he's trying to save her kid all the time and watch it for her. But I never took that as his kid because he didn't seem like a father figure in that show from what I remember. Right. He always seemed like the dude who's just like, oh shit, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and she left me with this kid. What do I do now? Like,
I mean, one last thing, because we're not even talking about the figure at this point, but I had no clue that Popeye had red hair. What?
Yeah, that was shocking. I thought he was bald.
Yeah, I thought he was bald too. So that's interesting.
Maybe that was the first season before getting his ass beat so much made him lose his hair.
Oh god. But yeah, this is really interesting, so that's cool. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what the actual figures turn out to be.
Pricing wise, what would you estimate? Because I know Boss Fight
knowing Boss Fight and them being about 5 to 6 inches, I have to assume this is going to be a 2-pack. I can't imagine them being able to sell Olive Oil by herself.
Yeah,
that's not a sexist thing. It's just a fact. She's not an interesting character in that show. So unless you're someone like Ujamar and you want to run around your house going, help me, you're my hero. Like, I can't imagine a world where there's like going to be a large audience who's like, I need to complete my collection by getting Olive Oil. They'd just be like, I'll get Popeye and wait for Bluto and be done with it.
Right.
So I'm going to say 2-pack, $60.
All right. You know, I mean, there's an estimation. I was hoping you said like 40. That'd be like
Boss Fight Studios. I imagine if these were individual, they'd be like $30 to $35, and then I figure 2-pack will be like 60 to 70 ish. I could be dead wrong, but that's my guess based on like other things they've done.
You're the expert. So.
I pretend to be, at least on YouTube. Rounding out the news, though, we have pre-orders for the next wave of Master of the Universe Origins figures that went up on Big Bad Toy Store. We have Green Goddess, Web Store, Faker, Beastman Lords of Power version, Deluxe Buzzsaw Hodark, Evil Lyn version 2, and Wind Raider. Absolutely no images of these were online. Okay. It's just the logo, and I'm just like, that's kind of weird, but okay. So I'm guessing. You know what you're getting into, right? I feel at this point, since they're just basically remakes of the old figures, that you have an idea what you're gonna get. Right. They are listed at $15.99 and ship in September 2021. So if Nate was here, I'm sure he'd be like, I pre-ordered the entire set already. Right. But yeah, the fact that they don't have pictures, there's not a lot to talk about because we don't know any of these characters.
Yeah, no, you got Deluxe Buzzsaw Hordic. I feel like we mentioned that name.
Yeah, we joked about it literally 2 weeks ago when we were like, Hoodoc?
Yeah, Hoodoc?
Yeah.
Who that?
Who that?
But we also made fun of the names as far as like, well, obviously Beastman, that's the clear one. What was the one? It was like Ninja.
Oh yeah, it was Ninja Warrior. It was Ninjor, because it was Ninja and Warrior mushed together.
So I'm sure we could kind of come up with an idea of what these characters look like. But
well, I mean, Hodark, if it wasn't for like that, I would assume Buzzsaw was literally just a table with a saw on it. Faker, I have to assume, is this a YouTuber. Web Store sounds like some sort of antivirus or an actual virus. And I assume Green Goddess is just the green chick from Star Trek that Captain Kirk hooks up with.
Makes sense. I'm actually interested in this line, if you want to go ahead and produce that.
You like my fantasy He-Man Origins line?
Oh, man.
Geez, Rick. That's it for the weekly news. However, we do have a little bit of a Turtle Watch 2020. Well, that was at least you faked some enthusiasm there, so I'll take it. So
I need to see the I need to see.
Do I just need to put that in the thing so you can click on it and surprise yourself?
Oh, yeah. All right, but yeah. It's actually worth surprises though, so this is really interesting.
Well, I mean, the one is kind of not a surprise. We talked about it last week, and it's technically ended by the time the show goes up. So the 1990 TMNT movie Shredder and Splinter 2-pack and the Foot Soldier 2-pack pre-orders ended today at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let the "Where are my pre-orders" posts begin. In other Turtle news, though, Super7 put up a new variants set of the TMNT Ultimates Wave 1 on Big Bad Toy Store, which were listed for $49.99, set to ship this month. And at first there was no information at all on what was changed. There was speculation because apparently in a past interview they mentioned possibly just re-releasing some with different like colored weapons racks. And they finally, after everything had already sold out except for maybe Baxter Stockman at that point, updated their post on Instagram stating that the weapons racks will be unpainted, which doesn't clear much up for me because based on looking at them, I thought they were brown plastic. I didn't realize that they painted them. So I'm very confused. Like, are they going to be a slightly less prominent brown? Are they going to be just clear? I'm very, I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I prefer 2 more rafts just because of the fact that this is just the accessory whore in me, Leo's pizza slice. I mentioned in my review that it looks like it's been sitting out for 3 weeks. Like, it just looks old and crusty compared to the RAF one. Looks like delicious. It's like all like shiny, and the cheese, it looks melty instead of like parted apart and stuff. So I'm like, I kind of want to have some more proper pieces of pizza to go with my turtles once they all come out, because I have to assume they're not going to correct course and we're going to get shittier pizza every time. Yeah. And I also like Raf's shell phone. The color scheme is like the red and like purplish like black versus Leo's, and also advertised with Mikey and Donnie, are just brown and green. Which, had they not given me the really cool one the first time, I probably wouldn't care. But the fact they gave me the really cool one, I'm like, why the fuck would I want these lame ones that are just like normal turtle colors? Like, so I prefer 2 more of him just to get extra pieces of that, and I'll part out the rest trying to recoup some money. But yeah, I also there's a lot of people who are pissed about it because they're like, oh, now they're not collectible because you re-release them. One, if you're that anal about money collecting, you know that the fact that there's something different about it means it's not a first issue, so yours is still technically worth more. And 2, who the fuck cares? If you're in the business of collecting money and not action figures, go do the stock market. Like, why are you collecting action figures hoping to retire?
Man, it's big.
Like,
wouldn't it be cool though if they did have a different variant? So now you can buy both of them, and now you can sit on both of those. You know, like,
yeah.
I don't feel like the anger there, but I will say I stared at these images to see like what is different.
Oh, there's no, because it's literally the same prototype images that we got before.
Yeah, and I'm like, am I looking at the same thing? So it's very confusing as to why this is it. I mean, could they have just said, hey, we're just re-releasing them again to get, for people who didn't get them before? That would have made so much more sense. What is different?
It just confuses me because, these were made to order, and for the most part, with all the other waves that they've done for other, figure lines like the MOTU and the Thundercats, I've never heard of them re-releasing things.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if maybe these were the first batch that they got from the manufacturer, or fuck up batch, and had the wrong color rack.
So they're like, hey, we'll sell these out.
Yeah, we'll sell these to Big Bad Toy Store and they can sell them to you.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it works because, let's be honest, like, yeah, this line is very heavy on the nostalgia train for the old Playmates figures, but I can't imagine that weapons rack is really going to be a deal breaker for you. That you're going to be like, no, fuck that. I don't want it because it's not the cool weapons rack that came with the original release.
And more than likely, does it sound like it's going to be different? So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious to see later this month if I get charged by Baby Toy Store and if it has a different weapons rack, because it fucking looks the same to me. Like,
Uh-oh. Unplugged my headphones.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Now I can say whatever I want about him and he won't know.
Can't hear me.
I know. That's the best part. He has no idea the things I just said, so he'll have to watch the episode and find out. Now that we're done with Turtle Watch 2021, it's time for weekly purchases, Jamar's favorite time of the show. So it was a pretty slow week for me. I know you've got a couple things. Would you like to go first or last?
It doesn't matter.
All right, I'll go first. I don't fucking care.
No.
I was being polite. I was giving you the option. I didn't want it to be like, fuck you, it's my show. I want to end it. So, oh no. Last week, my cousin Jake, who we've mentioned on the show multiple times, was down the mountain and going to some of the collectible shops, and he offered to look for some things for me while I was there. And I finally broke down and pulled the trigger, mostly because I wanted the goddamn coffee mug. But then I started playing with it, and I'm probably going to end up keeping most of it, and that is the Super7 Ultimates Splinter. I will say the one thing that sold me on it the most is I painted pupils on him, so he doesn't have those straight white eyes. And I'm like, okay, he simply looks better now, in my opinion. I know that's blasphemy because all the Playmates people are like, that's not how it's supposed to look. I don't give a fuck. Either are the two turtles back there who have fully wrapped arms and legs, like. Yeah, it all started because I started taking out just the accessory I wanted. I took out the coffee mug, and then I took out the little turtle. Then I was looking at the accessories. I'm like, the fuck is this? And I realized that he had a cane that had a blade on it, and you just, like, you can take the ping off, and all of a sudden he's got a sword. I'm like, that's fucking cool. And then next thing I know, I'm playing some of the other accessories. I'm like, god damn it, am I keeping this figure? So I've got that.
Cool. Jacked, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. I wish I was in that good a shape. So then today, actually, 2 packages arrive. The first one, and I'm going to be reviewing this one soon, is there's an Instagram, a person on Instagram who makes accessories for the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z stuff called Gohan Prince, or Prince Gohan. I can't remember. But I got blast effects. So I've got this like pinkish purple blast effect, which it looks really cool. Ooh, that was close. And then the one that really sold me on them is he made a special beam cannon effect for Piccolo. And I was like, well, I need that because Tamashii Nation's fucking dropping the ball on that one, and I'll never get that. So I've got both of these. I'll be doing a review here soon to kind of give my opinions on them and show how they look with the actual figures. And then the last thing I got today was pre-ordered a month or 2 ago. I can't remember at this point. Actually, I think it was a month ago. So I think it was last month. Is the Mezco Darkest Dawn Supreme Knight Batman. And at first, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this, but I'll get it just because I'd rather, get it at retail than decide later. And like opening it up, because I saw D Amazing's review of it, and the colors just looked a little too vibrant to me, but I think it's just the settings on his camera. Because like the belt looked like super bright and the blues looked super bright, but getting in person, it's a little dulled out. So I'm like, okay, this looks so much better. Because it initially looked like he had like just a straight up like blue mask and gauntlets and boots and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that, but in person, I'm like, this is my favorite Batman figure now. Like they did a fantastic job.
I feel like that changes every time something new.
Oh, it always does. It's always whatever the newest and greatest thing is. But that's the beauty of progress, man. They update it and make it better than the last one. And you're like, well, fuck, this is way better than the one I got on the shelf.
Not wrong. You're not wrong.
All right, so it's your turn, buddy.
All right. Well, some of the smaller things that I have. I was out at Target shopping for a specific 2-pack. Rat King and Vernon, and while I was at one of the Targets, I saw on the shelf again. It was the Gamerverse edition, like of the Marvel figures for the Avengers game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Marvel's Avengers, and I picked up the Kamala Khan. It was just like the $10 figure, and it was one of those things of I really can't wait until her show comes out. But I also enjoyed for speaking of bad games,
Yeah.
bad Avengers like in game and everything like that was the story mode on that was amazing, and it was a great introduction to this character for people who don't know who Miss Marvel is. So I picked this up just because, again, representation on my show. So I definitely like that one there. While I was out on my quest to find Vernon and Rat King, I ended up finding them. Found a 2-pack. It was a very weird and shady way that I ended up getting this, but nevertheless, I found it. I got the 2-pack. I'm showing off the figure that I'm keeping out of the 2-pack. I'm pretty sure it's kind of like washed out because of this light is like extremely harsh there. But Vern with his amazing pink shirt and the blue jeans. It's
It's the most 80s figure ever.
Dude, I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to do some fun stuff with his head swap as well. But yeah, I had to get this figure. We'll tell the story, Mike. We I got the April O'Neil. Someone picked it up for everybody in my West, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I really want this. So Mike was like, I'll take it. So did to him, and now I'm like, can I have it back? So now I'm getting that because I have full hope that we get Bernie, just so I can round out the cast there of Channel 6. So that's really exciting for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to know the shady story of how you got Vernon and Rat King.
So I can tell the story. So we're in a Facebook group trying to find out where it is. There was a specific Target in our area that had the four boxes of the 2-packs, right? And they had some other stuff there too. So I'm thinking like, oh fuck, do I want to go out here to Arlington? It's about 40 minutes away from me. I'm like, do I really want to go out here? They're probably not gonna have it. So I'm like, all right. My wife's like, come on, do it. Let's go. Like, we might as well try. We can check other Targets and yada yada. So I'm like, all right. I'm watching the Facebook group as we go and refreshing the post. And then we get about 10 minutes away from there, and someone was like, "Up, I went there. The last 2 are gone." It's like, dang, I knew it. Which bummed me out because we woke up in the morning with the plans to go, but we kind of just bummed around and didn't do it. So I probably could have gotten it right away, and I was sulking a little bit. So we went to the other Targets, struck out on both of those, and then I get a message from my buddy Wes, and Wes as well. And he's like, hey, the guy who was there, he tried to buy 2, but they would only let him buy 1. So it's at customer service if you want to go get it. I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah. I can go in like 2 hours. I'm like, no. I'll go now. So,
he's like, I ain't risking yo ass getting there late.
I was like, I'll go now. And it was like, well, no one's going to know. Apparently the person who was trying to buy the 2, he told Wes, he didn't tell anyone else. So I was like, all right. So I'm going up there, we're driving. And then as we're on our way, I was like, we should probably call. So I'm like, yeah, that's fair. So she calls while I'm driving, and they're like, yeah, let me look for it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, we see it up here. It's first come, first serve. We can't hold it for you, but it's up in front. So I'm thinking, great. It's at customer service. No one's going to know to ask customer service, hey, do you have this 2-pack in your reshop? Because no one knows that. And for people who didn't work reshop or retail, reshop is stuff that people didn't want or couldn't get, and now they're putting it back on the floor at the end of the day. So it's just in a basket somewhere is what I was thinking in my head. We get all the way there. We get to the Target. We rush right into customer service. The figure, like, I don't have the box right by me, but the box is sitting on, like, their barrier to block, like, out customer service. It's sitting on the top. Like, so if anyone walked out, whoever cashed out would just look over and be like, hey, what's that? And so they totally didn't have it, like, under wraps or anything. So we go in there. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're here for that. So we ended up getting it. I was pretty excited. So me and Wes are splitting it. He had more interest in the Rat King. I had more interest in Vern. So it was kind of a perfect combination there. So yeah, it worked out. It was a happy story. Everything is great, so that's cool. Man, which one do I do? So we're talking about Big Bad Toy Store charging your card, right?
I forgot about this.
I get a notification, or I was at work actually, and my wife texted me and said, "Hey, guess what?" And I'm like, "I don't know what." We got charged, and I'm like, "Oh man!" So I go into total mode of thinking,
Starts heavy breathing.
yeah, it's excited. It's like, "Oh man, oh man!" So I get the notification. I go in the Big Bad Toy Store, and we see it's coming. I've been arguing, or not arguing. I've been
You've been bitching.
basically bitching and moaning for what it seems to be a year. But my birthday gift, which my birthday is in September, it is February. My birthday gift is finally here. He's not in a really great pose. I just kind of like messed him up, but you guessed it. It is the Miles Morales from Mofex, and oh man, I'm so happy. I was so like excited to get this figure. One, because I mentioned before I got to buy some new Jordans for him to give him like the authentic ones, like design. But then opening the box, I said, "Whoa, what are these magnets for?" And then I put it on the refrigerator. There's magnet feet, magnet hands. I'm sure this is probably in all the other Spider-Man figures as well. But this is perfect for me. I'm keeping the shoes on there because it's a perfect desk figure. My housing for my PC is magnet or metal, so I have him like on there like he's on the wall. It's so awesome. I absolutely love the figure. The only thing I was bummed out is my stand was broken. I opened it up and the middle hinge was just loose. So I don't know if the screw that was in that was just stripped. So threw it away. But that was not it. I love this Mofex figure so much.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't.
T'Challa the King.
Oh, okay. I thought it was something else.
Not Peter B. Parker. I didn't go down that road. But the King was available, and so I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta get it. The likeness is there. It's obviously cultural reasons, impactful. This is, Black Panther. This figure I have to own. If I'm gonna have Miles Morales, I gotta have T'Challa and the Black Panther. So I ended up getting that one. And to my surprise, like apparently if you do regular shipping through Big Bag Toy Store, you get your shit quick as hell. Yeah. So like the order
when you don't do that shitty $4 shipping, it's amazing how quickly you get things.
I don't even get why it's an option. But yeah, so that ended up showing up. I literally just before the show like got to open it up because it came in this morning. So I just got him in the pose like from the movie poster of him, hands down. And I'm gonna probably leave on the Chadwick Boseman head for a while just because it's a tribute.
I feel like you can't ever go to the Black Panther head. You have to stay with the T'Challa head at all times.
Like easy like actiony pose or whatnot. But I think that's just kind of the way I'm gonna do because shelf representation is what I'm out there. I'm coining the phrase right there. So
apparently we need to work on some trademarks.
Right. I apparently to myself I've had like a really great week. So yeah, all is happy in the world of toys. I don't have to hunt for NECA. I got my T'Challa. Finally got Miles. And I got my Vern because he's cool. I can't wait to open up that Splinter and grab that medallion. I'm gonna make Pimp Daddy Vern. I need to find a fedora.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's what I have for my week. I'm gonna have some fun posing some stuff and taking pictures and only sharing them to you guys because I'm not a professional.
Always good to only share them with your friends.
That's fair, or that's true. That's very true. But yeah, that's all I have. That's it. I'm empty now.
Awesome. So before we close everything out, I have to remind you as always about our giveaway. Once we hit 350 YouTube subscribers, we'll give away a first place prize of the NECA Ultimate Metalhead and a second place prize of the extra large NECA Musical Mugen Tour merch box bundle, which includes an extra large shirt, tote bag, souvenir ticket, backstage pass, and 4 guitar picks. All you have to do, share the post on Instagram or Twitter, or share or retweet, obviously, with the hashtag ModernToyFair100, and then you have to subscribe to the channel. Super simple. Again, share or retweet. Can't be on your fleet, can't be on your story, has to be on your actual page because I don't get notified when you do this unless you retweet. So I'm not going to know to check your story regularly to see if you did it or not. So it has to be on your actual page. Best way to do it is Twitter. It's the pinned tweet, so it's the first thing you see when you go to it, at Modern Toy Fair. Click retweet, do quote, hashtag Modern Toy Fair 100. You're done. Super simple. So get on that. Get us to 350. We currently stand at, I believe, 213. So we are on our way there, slow and steady. But that is it for this week's Modern Toy Fair news. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Jamar, tell all of our wonderful fans about Why Are You a Gamer?
Yeah, so Why Are You a Gamer is a podcast I've been talking about for ever since we've been doing the show, right? Finally getting some things into gear. We're almost there. Miles Morales is here, and Why Are You Gamer Season 2 is almost here. It's a big bad toy store of
podcasts.
Right. So, you should have paid for the extra shipping. I would have had it back. But no, in all seriousness, I have a YouTube channel that is now being pretty much dedicated all to Why Are You a Gamer. It's going to have reviews, reacts, replays, and I'm going to post some cool gaming stuff because all we do is play Rogue Company, so I'm going to have cool clips on there as well. But the big news is that I'm putting all of Season 1 onto the YouTube channel. Mike will be so gracious to add the link below. But then go ahead and do your thing, subscribe. You don't have to click the bell just yet until I earn your trust, but just give me some subscribers so I can maybe get that fancy URL one of these days. But that's it. Again, of course, follow me at Jamar_games on Twitter. Get those updates.
Awesome. And make sure to check out all the really cool graphics and logos on that Why Are You a Gamer YouTube, because someone really talented fucking made those.
Starving artist.
Definitely starving artist. You can also catch my lovely voice over at the Gimmick Minute Wrestling Podcast, where me, Jason, and Kevin shoot the shit on what's going on in the wrestling world. We talk about the Wednesday Night Wars and just kind of, occasionally predict what's going to happen at the pay-per-views. So check that out. You can support us here at Modern Toy Fair, though, by clicking the link below for my TeePublic store, which I sell anything from shirts, mugs, cell phone cases, pillows with our logos on it, the Why Are You a Gamer logo on it, or even just other random stuff that I've made in Photoshop. So go check that out. I'd greatly appreciate it. And as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. But not only that, leave us a comment below with what announcements you are most excited for, or if we fucked something up, because guess what? We do that shit weekly, so let us know about it. I'll talk to you about it, and I'll maybe even call it out on the actual show next week.
You can put that in there.
Yeah, so you can, there you go. There's your fuck up, the free one. You're welcome. If you do happen to enjoy our faces, though, make sure to hit the little bell to get notified when our videos go up. Modern Toy Fair News goes up on Fridays, and Modern Toy Fair Reviews is currently going up on Mondays and Wednesdays now. So that's 2 reviews a week. Let's get us there to get to monetization, baby. Let's do it. And if for some reason you don't like our beautiful faces, but you still enjoy our soothing voices, you can listen to the audio-only version of Modern Toy Fair News, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Spotify, and other podcast apps you know and love. So check that out, and we will see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.